Hello friends, welcome and namaskar. So here's the thing. If you use Excel, you need to know VLOOKUP. It's the most used Excel function there is. It helps you automate your data analysis, obviously helps you save a ton of time and avoid errors, which is all we want, right? It's also the OG lookup function in Excel because it works in all the formats of Excel. So here's the deal. By the end of this video, you are going to know what is VLOOKUP, how it works, how you can look up a value from any another sheet or from same sheet as well, how you can look for an exact match or the closest match. Both are different things. Exact match is different and closest matches are different. So we will learn both of the matches. And if you run into an error, you are going to know how to solve it. Okay. So this will be going to your ultimate VLOOKUP guide and you need to pay close attention with it. So now let's start with our example. Here we are going to take a look at the most common use of VLOOKUP, which is to look up related informations from another place and bring it over here, right? So in this example, we have a list of a student along with their student ID and their class, which is actually a base data of a student of a school, or we can say for two classes, 5th and 6th. And in another list which was prepared after exam was being conducted. So here we have marks obtained by students in different subjects along with their IDs. So this is the ID, and in math, science, English, what marks they have obtained are mentioned here, right? Now we need to find marks obtained by each of the student, because when parents will come for PTM at the time of PTM, then they will not tell you that their student's ID, but they will tell you their child's name. So before they reach, we need to extract data in a way so that teacher will not be in position where they are finding the details and wasting the time. Like if someone came and asked the marks of Jay and Krish, so I need to search the what is the ID of Jay and uh, Krish, and I need to search 21 in here, and I will tell that. So we don't want to do this manually, right? We don't want to look each student's ID and find the marks, copy it and type it over here. We want it automated, and that's what VLOOKUP helps us to do. So the first thing we need to do is to go to the cell that we want our answer. So we want our answer here. Then start typing an equal sign as like this, and just start writing VLOOKUP. As you will start to write it in, you are going to see it pop up here. So one pop-up is coming here, and we need to accept it by pressing tab, right? Also it opens a bracket for us. Now inside here we can see what the formula needs to be able to work properly. So the first thing that it needs, or the first argument as we call it, that it needs lookup value. What are we looking up? We are looking up student ID in this case, because it's only the common value in both the data sheets. So we just have to select that cell. Just click on that cell and that's it, selected. Next, we move on by using the argument separator in Excel. So in my case, I am using a comma. In your case, you might need to use a semicolon. So the next thing that Excel needs is a table array for VLOOKUP, which is basically means the range it should look it up. Now that range must include your lookup value, and it must include the answer that you want. So we have a mark sheet where we have student ID and maths marks, right? But we cannot select individual range with VLOOKUP, but we need to select an entire range like this. So we will select like this. So this is the one golden rule that we have to keep in mind. The range that contains your lookup value has to be on the left hand side of your selected result column. This means that student ID here in the range has to be on the left hand side of the marks. This is golden rule, guys, right? Then we move on to column index number. This is the column number that we want returned as our answer. We know that Excel start counting from 1. So this is the first column, this is our second column, this is our third, and this is fourth, right? What we want to put here? Number 2, because we want to get marks of maths as return value. So I will put comma, right, and I will put 2 here, right? The last argument here is in square bracket, and in Excel anything in a square bracket means that the argument is in option. So here is the place where a lot of people makes mistakes. They ignore that last optional argument. However, it is optional, but still we should select value in it. However, in our data we have our students list sorted. But what if it is not sorted, or if it is sorted but another day, if any person comes and add another name, then our sorting will be vanished. So for safer side, we should select value as false, which means you are looking for an exact match. Let me check once again. I need to select false, false, right. So just something to keep in mind, if you are sharing workbook with colleagues and you don't see them using false in there, instead you see them using 0 instead of false. One second, what is it? I need to select false. Sorry guys, and this one. So right now it is coming as false. So what I was talking you. So sometimes if it happens that someone puts 0 instead of selecting false, so that is not a mistake actually. That's also correct value, because 0 translates to a false in Excel. You either need to have a 0 or false for this exact match to work correctly. Now if I drag this down, does it work correctly? It kind of work, but it doesn't fully work. Why? You understand this? Why it is not correct fully? Because if I closely look at this, then I will see that the range, the area is shifting down. So in first row it is showing as A2 to B50, and in second row it is showing A3 to B51, and like this. So it is not fixed, right? So if you are planning to copy down the formula, you have to fix that table area, and to do that you just select it like this, and we will click on Control F. So like this, we will select and use F4 key. So after F4 key pressing, it is putting dollar signs before the range, right? So it is fixed. Now the range is fixed. Now when I drag this formula, like or just double click like this, so now we will see that it works fine. My range isn't shift. That's how we can use VLOOKUP for an exact match. Like I will select this here, right? So we can match this like for 14 number student ID we have 92 in maths. So 14 number 92 is available, and 40 is 64. 40 is 64. Now let's take a look at using VLOOKUP to find the closest value. So this is typically used when it comes to lookup numbers. Here we have a list of students who obtained marks in math subject. right? Now we have a list, and these are math subject marks, right? We have each student's score and we want to translate that score into a grade. But in our lookup value, we don't have each possible number in this grade. Instead, we are dealing with range. So anyone who has between 0 to 54 is going to get an E grade. Anyone who is between 80 to 90, 80 to 89 is going to get a B grade. For Excel, the way we provide the score and the grade is like this. We just specify the lower bound value. So here is a 0, 55, 70, 80, 90. So this is how Excel understands. This part is just easier for us to understand what is happening. All we need to do, that is start of VLOOKUP like this, equals to VLOOKUP. Then the value we are looking up value of mass, right? And next, what do we want to return? We want to return the grade, that is the second column of this range. So we are going to put it to here. We will select this range and we will going to put 2. And now we can happily ignore the last option argument, which is optional, because default Excel behavior is to look for an approximate match. So when I press enter, I get B, gives me an E grade, right? Now can I just pull this down below? I cannot pull this down because it is giving me some error, right? So I need to fix the range as we understood earlier. So I will just go and select this and click on F4. Now I can drag this accordingly. So anyone who is getting 60 marks is getting D grade. Let's check it out. So 60 marks will come here and he will obtain D grade. And if anyone is getting 92 marks, then he will obtain A grade. So 90 marks will come in this range and it will, right? So it doesn't mean that we can't put true. In fact, it makes it clear that you are doing an approximate. Just one thing to keep in mind is that when you are using VLOOKUP with an approximate match, make sure that uh, your scores, that your values that you are looking up and sorted in ascending order. So we have our list in ascending order only. I'm making this mistake every time like this. Correct? Fine. So now we understood that what is approximate match and what is exact match. Now we are moving to second part of this video, and now let's take a look at some common errors you might run into when you use VLOOKUP and how you can correct those. It's also a good way to test if you paid close attention during the first part of this video, right? So users usually forget to put false in the end for the exact match, and it creates problem to identify correct value. So sometimes it shows and it gives a correct value, but if you are not putting false, then it might possible that it will give incorrect values, right? And another thing, we should always follow the rule that for VLOOKUP to work correctly, lookup column has to be on the left side of what we want to return. So in case of selecting marks of looking up marks of math, we saw that our student ID was in left, right? And in case of putting grade, we ensure that math marks were in uh, left side only. Next thing, in case you are using approximate match, then it must be noted that the list from where the return value is required must be sorted in ascending value. ascending order only. So our list, math list was in ascending order. At that time, marks list was ascending order of student ID, right? So that is we want to understand. Another thing, when we select data range, then it should be complete and fixed. We can't select individual range like this. So we need to select complete range. Also, after selecting range, if we are planning to copy, then we need to fix that table error. Like we are putting dollars, and we can select the range, and we'll click on F4 for fixing the range. So how many of these did you figure out on your own? Let me know in the comments. Okay. So that's how VLOOKUP works. I hope now you are confident, and if you are running into errors, you know how you can fix it. I have more videos on Excel on this channel, so just check them out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And if you are enjoying this video, you want to discover more tips and tricks, do subscribe to this channel if you aren't subscribed yet. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.